Hello everybody and welcome back to Terraria. When we last left off, I was talking about building the rest of the house. As you can see, I added a roof here. So what I did is I used the living wood wands and the leaf wand to make the leaves around here. Oops, I actually just realized I am missing something. So I also went to the painter and got some material to build brown paint here, so I can kind of make it look nice and rustic around here. I like the look of it a lot. Seems pretty solid. I'm actually really happy with the way it turned out. So this is the new kind of like starting resources bin. I added some chests here, so these are all of my building materials. So I got building blocks, building miscellaneous tools, which is including things like the living loom, which let me build these backgrounds and things like that. I also bought a paint sprayer from the traveling merchant, and if you look, that is almost done. So we just need the extendo grip and the portable cement mixer. We get all of those, we can eventually construct the architect gizmo pack, but that's still a ways off. We have a ways to go before we can actually start combining materials. The other thing that I did is I built this little well. This is gonna be essentially our descent into the underground from our base. So it'll be a nice, easy way for us to get, up and down and all of that good stuff. And I also added a lot of rooms to this little tower now, and I kind of got a roof going here. This is like wood painted to look like stone, so it's pretty cool like that, I think. I don't know, I like it. It's growing on me. It took me a while to kind of figure out this kind of hourglass shaped thing. I didn't know what I was gonna go for with that, but I think it turned out okay. Don't know if I necessarily like these chains yet. It was just an idea I had, but the good news is we have lots of available housing. So I got 3 rooms there. The arms dealer moved in. That's really good. He actually works really well in the desert biome, and he likes the nurse. So if they move into the desert biome together, we can get a pineline over there. Also, the painter died, and I got his hat. So I've just been kind of wearing Jim's cap for a little while. I don't know. It's kind of fun. It has been raining non-stop, and I have so many worms now. It is unreal. So we're probably going to end up doing some fishing later, although we're still pretty early on for that. But you can see I have so many. I actually used all of my stars to convert them into night crawlers. I actually had a ton of stars, but I had to sell some in order to afford all the stuff from the traveling merchant. He was kind of expensive. I also got a DPS meter from one of them, which lets us record how much damage we deal. So you can see, like, here's the damage per second. Do 113. Not bad. It's one of those materials though that can combine with the other ones. So it's all these information accessories can all start to combine. What I want to do right now is start to head over to the right and kind of explore that side of things. I know that in the drunk seed here there's going to be a crimson biome, so I want to see where that is, and I also want to see where the jungle is, and if we can find that, that'd be really good. Additionally, we do need to locate the dungeon, which I'm not sure. I think there's something weird about it in the drunk seed. We'll find out. Oh, so and we also want to start thinking about boss fights. Namely, I'm thinking about King Slime would be one of the early ones to fight. He has some pretty good loot that we wanna farm out. He does require a little bit to get started though. He needs his boss item requires rubies, which is kind of rare. Oh, interesting. So yeah, we did explore down there. We were in the caves, but this is about as far as we went on the surface level. So let's keep going. Yeah, I apologize again for the rain in Terraria. It has been literally nonstop. I think it rained like 3 times in a row. Ooh, nice. We get some water leaf though, which is really good. It's hard to farm water leaf because you have to wait for rain. So in that sense, it's kind of nice that we can get this all now. Alright, so here's an oasis biome. It's pretty cool. This is a good fishing spot. So we might actually want to set up our desert pylon here. Although we could set up the desert pylon. Where's the desert on this side? It's kind of close to the ocean, so I think a pylon here would be kind of stupid if we have a pylon right there. So it might be good to set up the desert pylon here. I could also move the forest pylon maybe somewhere else. I mean, this is all forest, so it's kind of hard to figure out. We also are going to get new biomes when we progress through the game. Things are going to change, so you know, who knows what's going to be there. I'm just going to make a very basic house structure right here. We can go and change it up later, but I just wanted to get something down, and that way we can move in the arms dealer and the nurse and maybe get a pylon over here. Oop. I need for it to go out there. I don't know if this is a big enough room or not, but we'll find out in a minute here. So just real easy, we'll do like that. We're gonna do some workbenches. We're going to get some chairs and just some basic wood walls for the backer. Boom. And boom. Awesome. And a little bit of lighting. Pop up. Check the housing. Suitable, suitable. Alright, so we're going to we should probably have a door in here. So I'm just gonna add 2 doors just to even it up. That way we can just kind of go through. In the previous versions of the game, you actually couldn't just walk through doors. It was really annoying. Alright, so let's move these 2 specifically. I want to move in here because I know that they'll give me a pylon by being together because they like each other. It's kind of a combination. You want the NPCs to like each other, and you also want the NPCs to like the biome that they're in. So the arms dealer is very, very much a fan of the nurse. They're kind of, I think they're like canonically dating or something, where they just really like each other. So that's really good. And then he also likes the desert, so when he's in the desert biome and he's with the nurse, he will sell the pylon. Oh man, here we go again with these living trees. I have so much loot from these. Ooh, an aglet and some moonlord legs. Alright, take it. Not bad, not bad. And we got some climbing claws, which I think. Ooh. Oh, I don't have my thing summoned. This is good. Maybe I can coerce it up to the surface. Can he jump this high? Might have to give him some platforms. Let's grab that there. Where'd he go? Hello? No? Yeah. Let's just ignore it for now. We'll come back. We'll come back later. But again, I have all of these trees all over the place. We are now currently walking into the jungle biome, though. You can see the grass has changed color. Oh, this is one of the early game weapons I was kind of hoping for. Godly too, and that spears are pretty good. But we are a little past that at this point, so I'm just gonna keep going. Now we could spend some time in the jungle and get some items. Jungle's a little bit of a later area. You can kind of see the like the bats and stuff are a little strong, and the enemies inside are pretty crazy to deal with. Hey turtle, how's it going? There's also bamboo here, which is kind of neat. It's like a wood variant as well. So we could stay here and get some items, some mahogany and all of that good stuff, but I really just want to explore the surface before I go down under into these areas. But that being said, there are some really easy jungle items to get, and wouldn't be too. Oh my gosh, look at all of that sapphire. I've never seen so much sapphire this close to the surface in my life. I'm gonna die to this jungle slime though if I'm not careful. Alright, let's mine this out, just because like this is really hard to pass up on, like this much sapphire. Look at this. If it was ruby, we'd be set for the entire game. Ruby again is used mainly for me. I use it in the King Slime boss item. So there's multiple ways to summon bosses in this game, but one of the easiest ones is to use boss items, which will activate and summon them. I actually have one for the Eye of Cthulhu, so if we want to skip to that fight at some point, we have those boss items. But there are other conditions that'll summon bosses. So King Slime tends to I think there's a random chance that King Slime appears near the player, and then there's also he also can come in response to killing other slimes. So like Slime Rain, for example, where you're killing just a ton of slimes all the time, is a really good way to summon the King Slime. He will show up to defend his young there. I think there's also like a better chance of finding King Slime like the closer you get to the ocean. I think there's something like that where it's like easier to get him to spawn. And it fell. Ooh, Moon Glow. It spawns in the jungle. That's really good. So these snatchers, and they're called, I think they're called like man eaters down in the jungle. They drop one of the jungle materials called vines, and you can use vines along with like some jungle spores and stuff to make jungle items, and those are really strong. And if you can get a hold of them, it's dangerous to be in the jungle, but if you can get those items, you are set for a really long time. The jungle is, I think, like the third or fourth zone that I would probably go to in a normal playthrough, like in the deep jungle. Surface stuff you can walk over just fine, but you do want to make sure you're being a little careful as you're walking through. All right, quite a large jungle. That's not bad. I like bigger jungles, and the best part about it is jungles have a nasty habit of being near biomes that can interfere with it. So corruption and stuff like that. Crimson will actually mess up your biome. Actually, I don't know if they fixed that or not. That was something that might have been in the patch notes for a fix. It used to be where something like Crimson or Corruption, when it takes over, when it spreads, one of the things that it does that's really bad is it would convert all of these mud blocks into dirt, and jungle grass and things like this are all on mud blocks. So if it converts it to dirt, you're basically destroying the jungle, which is not what you want. All right, so here's the end of the jungle. Nice. All right. Denoted by this this single living tree post. All right. All right. Here's some more living tree wood here. And one thing that I wanted to note is that normally in a traditional seed, the dungeon and the jungle don't spawn on the same side. So if you find one, generally that means that the other one is to the other side. I'm not going to go in there yet. Ooh, crimson. Nice. So this is the crimson biome. It's very similar to the corruption. They have slightly different enemies and things like that, but the idea behind it is still the same. Does this go right into it? Let's find out in a second. But you can see like the enemy types are a little different, although you can see the similarities right here with this chimera. It kind of looks like the souls. And you got the whole dark music happening. It's also nighttime, which means the spawns are going to be a little more intense. No. We don't need the umbrella. I just wanted to see if this path connected through. And not quite. All right. Oh, it looks like the blood creepers are actually too large to enter this hole. The chimeras, however, are not. So one of the things that they drop here, you'll notice I'm trying to figure out the inventory space here. All right. One thing that they drop here is a vertebrae. I have some rotted meat from the corruption. Vertebrae is essentially the version of it for crimson, and it's used in a lot of specific recipes. Mainly there's like boss item recipes and things like that that you want to use it for, so it's always good to keep hold of that. Make sure you have some. It's annoying to farm it, so it's good to just have some in the back pocket all the time. Oh gosh, get up. There we go. We can kind of go over these. It'll be a little easier. All right, sweet. Here. So one thing about the crimson is that you'll notice we're on the crimson brick now. The entrance to it is different than the corruption. So corruption, there was like little pits that went down into the earth. I'm just getting all these stars real quick. How many stars there are? Wow. So many. The crimson has these mouth-like entrances, which makes it a little different. I'm gonna keep going along the surface here, but we're gonna eventually go in those and see what's happening with them. Let's jump over here. And it looks like we made it to the other ocean. So here's the other ocean. So we've gone from one end of the world to the other. Both sides of the world are wrapped in ocean, which is really cool. Really lets you know like where you are. So this crimson gets right up against the ocean. So we're probably gonna want to dig a hole kind of right in. Get the bombs out. Where are my bombs? I'm blind. I have bombs, right? Yes. we're probably going to want to put a hole about where I just bombed right there, just to prevent the spread of crimson into the beach, because this sand can be turned into crimson, just like we saw with the desert biome and the corruption. We don't want our desert to also be converted. So, ow, I did 45 damage even though I was on top of it. It's a little rude. Oh, I didn't even see the zombie. Oh! I was not paying attention. Wow, that was unfortunate. So anyway, the main thing is that we got the whole thing explored. I am a little surprised that we ran into the jungle, but we didn't run into the dungeon at all. So normally the dungeon's on the surface, but it appears not to be the case. So if I had to guess where the dungeon would be on this seed, because I don't really know much about this seed, it's other than it's just awkward and weird. Based on what we've explored so far, so we got a nice ice biome, we got the desert right here, so we can put a point right here, so that's a pretty good distance, about halfway, you know, halfway to the crimson. You can put a thing there. We could also have a jungle pylon probably somewhere around here. That way we can kind of just like space these out. There's also a ice biome pylon that we could do as well. So that one we could probably do. We could probably have that one honestly on this side, and then we can move the forest pylon maybe here, and that way we kind of have like more evenly spaced pylon coverage as we go through. So we'll have ice, desert, jungle, and then we're basically there. And then on the other side we can have a forest pylon maybe here, or like in here somewhere, and then we'll have to figure out something for like this area, and then we'll have the ocean biome over here to kind of go around the corruption. It's a lot of different ones. We can use. All right. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to fast forward. I'm going to go to the crimson, and I'm going to basically go inside one of those mouths and show you guys what that's like. So I'll be right back when I get over there. Just a quick update. I did purchase the desert pylon, so now we can go back and forth between here and the desert pylon. It saves us a little bit of distance, which is pretty good. I'm still just moving to the left though. I'll see you guys in the crimson. Alright, we're back at it. I'm in the crimson. I'm gonna say that the reason I totally died last time is because I didn't have my summon out. That's the only reason. It's not because I was bad or anything. My summons would say, look at how much they do. They just hold that guy in place. It's really good. I do have to be careful because that 70 plus damage on a hit is really something to worry about. Alright, so this little mouth like entrance kind of comes in like this. It's a little easier to actually get into these than I think the crimson is. Sorry, the corruption is. Crimson's, in that regard, the crimson is kind of nice because you can just sort of walk in. You don't actually need any sort of movement accessory or anything to survive that. Although this jump is kind of annoying. Ooh, this is a big chamber here. So very similar to corruption. Crimson has these little hearts here that are beating. These are kind of like the orbs. Earlier you saw there was a couple altars as well that are different than the demon altars. They are the crimson altar variety. And basically at the end of all of these little offshoots, there are these these orbs here. So you can kind of see them here. There's one down there. Just kind of lighting up the area a little bit here. One thing I think that's good to do is just sort of light everything up so you know where everything is. This map is, or this chamber is actually quite large, which is really good for us. We're gonna be eventually fighting a boss in here, so we want that chamber to be able to be moved through. This is the thing. I want to be able to move, right? I want to be able to attack, to do all the things you need to do. Oh, that's crazy. It's actually a normal demon altars there instead of the crimson ones. So I'm actually gonna break. I want to break this one. I'm gonna break some of the ones that are harder to get to, because remember what I said about the corruption. Same thing applies here. After you break the third one, the boss gets summoned. So you want to make sure whatever one that is, it's the easiest one to get from there to where you want to fight the boss. Uh-oh. Ooh. Worms and stuff around here. Gotta be careful. Gotta be a little careful. Yeah, these worms are really annoying. You can see it's just a lot of stuff to fight. Worm. You can kind of predict the worm because you can hear it coming. It's like a little choo-choo train kind of sound. Alright, here we go. Let's get some bombs. And I'm just gonna throw them in here. Oh! They're synced up! Well, this is awkward. So I can show you kind of what this looks like. I'm not gonna live. These things are spun. Actually, you know what? Can I get out of here? I'm just gonna leave. Alright, so that was surprising. I didn't know that they would be linked up like that. But hey, drunk world. So that's kind of interesting, actually. I kind of like that. So they're synced up. That means that we can now shatter more altars. So I'm gonna go do that. Get some stuff. There's some pretty good stuff in those chests there. There's plenty of those orbs and stuff to break, so I'm not worried about that as far as summoning the boss goes. And like always, if you don't summon the boss, if you're not able to, or you just like ran out of crystals because of your attempts on trying to kill the boss, then easiest thing to do is just to make a boss item. So all is good. I'm going to go and I think I'm gonna wrap the episode up here, and I'm going to go and get those items from the Crimson and then figure out what is the next step, whether we have to go exploring more, spelunking more, getting stuff ready for the King Slime fight or the Eye of Cthulhu fight, one of those two. And I will see you in the next one. Later.